Featured today in this MAXmotive YouTube series is this wickedly awesome 1979 Bronco, completely custom, Coyote 5-liter, Roush Supercharger, tons of upgrades, and don't worry about the hood being open, we're gonna get there in a sec. This has been the owner's personal collection for the last few years. Truck has a ton of accolades. SEMA 2021 Central Hall, KW/Bell-Tech booth, cover of Driving Line magazine, been in other magazines and publications. It's also a driver, which means as beauty as this truck is, as a beauty, takes my breath away, she's so beautiful. As beautiful as this truck is, she runs, she drives, she wants to be driven, and she wants you to drive her. This incredible machine was built by Cleveland Pound Performance, obviously in Cleveland. Very talented shop. Tons of incredible work. Each person has a different part of the truck they love. This truck has been to many, many shows. Obviously SEMA, been all over the US. May have been hopefully lucky enough to see it. We'll start going over all the exterior features. When it's been the owner's personal collection for a few years, you know it's a top-notch build. Bronco has a ton of customization. We'll get to the underneath here in a sec. Front grille is a 79 Bronco-ish that's been modified. LED front headlights. Front grille started off as a monoblock that was just machined and hand built. One of the fabricators, Cleveland Pound Performance, did an incredible job on that. Really proud piece for them, and it should be. All the body lines have been accented, as in sharpened. Trim has been eliminated. Where the trim would normally sit, it's been deepened. Bumpers are a matching pair. These are not would be typically on your 79 Bronco. That colored gray is what is carried underneath on the engine block, suspension, transmission transfer case. So the bumper's been modified to match each other, which means you can't have two front bumpers or two rear bumpers. So they were built, tucked, incredibly tight lines. What other Bronco also gives you two hoods? The owner in his personal collection, there is a Ram Air fully functional hood. Within that Ram Air, there's a separate air cleaner to make sure the hood is fully Ram Air. The new owner will get the hood that is on here, and the previous hood or earlier hood you'll see in a lot of the pictures in the SEMA publications. That Ram Air hood is included with the air box. We'll get under the hood in a sec as we keep working our way around the exterior. Because this was a SEMA build, ton of custom stuff, ton of incredible companies involved. 35-inch tires, riding on forge line wheels. At the time, the builders did not want the wheel well sticking out. Forge line hopped in. A lot of times you see these trucks where the wheel is, just sticking way out, mud all over the paint. It's big for the builders to have a wheel with the proper depth, back space to not only clear custom 6-piston Hellcat brakes, go over that and the underneath when we get there, but front brakes had to be, you don't have Hellcat 6-piston brakes. So the lifted spindle with the 6-inch front lift kit from the Bell-Tech, completely made one-off just for the SEMA vehicle to go with that front suspension. So that front suspension is an independent front suspension from the 2014 F-150 donor truck. So for lack of better words, this part of the suspension is F-150. The rear axle is F-150, but the frame and everything back is all custom. So between Forge Line, one-off wheels working off of measurements. Bell-Tech, one-off suspension working off of measurements. Inner wheel wells, all hand-built. Rhino-line texture-coated painted. Adjustable upper control arms. What's cool when you're building a car like this, car parts don't really care where car parts come from. So in that regard, the innards of the door are from a modern Silverado, as in the power window regulator. The door mirrors, still power folding, functional. Front floodlights, big enough to tow because this is fully sub with a hitch. You want to tow your jet ski or boat? Tow your jet ski or boat. Those are also Silverado. Custom base made to allow to fit the door. Paintwork, just incredible. It's a custom one-off mix, gold flake, laid over a silver. Body was completely disassembled, up on a rotisserie. Every single nook and cranny of this car before the custom paint was going on has been worked, touched, massaged, and look at how crisp those lines are. In terms of dollars and cents, that is just a ton of time and body work. And with all that incredible body work, paint looks amazing. Paint team over at Cleveland Pound Performance did just a magnificent job. Paint job like this will easily set you back 6 figures. Buy the whole Bronco for way more affordable than is into this thing. As stated, owner's personal collection, ready to come out of the personal collection, hit the market, and be for sale. Cool little features from the F-150, door handle, key, just like the F-150 would be. Amp research, power running boards, lit LED lights. Running boards obviously do not come for a 79 Bronco / F-150 / custom frame, so the running boards were modified as well. Brackets reinforced. Brackets are reinforced to A, be able to hold chunky butts like myself, and be sturdy, have no concerns, but B, when put away, incredibly sleek look, and with the red and black theme, basically matches the truck and looks like they're meant to be. Bodywork, again, the lines can't stress enough. Color, incredible. Rear bumper, as mentioned, tucked. Front and rear bumper are matched. NU 78, 79 Bronco people know how hard it is now, especially in the nowadays that Broncos, the big ones, have started to get their love, to find sliding windows for your hardtop. The builders actually tracked down 2 different sets of these, rebuilt them. Those are fully functional. 2 different sets of used original windows. Back glass fully functional. Backup sensors. Backup camera. LED taillights to go with your LED headlights. Hardtop is still fully removable. Continuing on the hood, this 1979 Bronco. It's named the Nika build. Part of the owner's personal collection for probably the last 3 years at this point. The owner has a pretty wild personal collection. There's maybe only a dozen cars at best in the owner's personal collection, and this Bronco has been the owner's personal collection for the last 3 years. So that tells you the level the owner thinks this car is and the deal that you'll be getting on this Bronco. As mentioned earlier, 2 hoods, matte black under the hood. This panel here you see, aluminum, contour, said hand built about 117 times during this video, but you get the point. Battery under here, everything accessible. Molded to the airbox with the second hood, painted as well. New airbox, so a second airbox comes with it. The additional hood, scooped ram air into the airbox. 2 hoods, 2 airboxes. 2014 F-150 Donor truck had approximately 20,000 miles on time of the build. On top of just a Coyote 5-liter, which would more than be enough power of this truck, plus that beautiful Cook's exhaust we'll get here, those Varix mufflers and that hand-built stainless 304 exhaust under there, TIG welded up. Why not throw a Roush Supercharger on top of the motor the builders set at Cleveland Pound Performance? An underhood closeout panel like this, and people are going to scoff at this. You go have a high-end shop build you that, finish that, paint it, you have a $7,500, $10,000 closeout panel, easy. Being the SEMA build, worked with Ring Brothers, custom hinges. Once again, half 79 Bronco, half F-150. There's nothing off the shelf you can purchase. Hood is up in the air, staying up in the air, which is a proper way to build a vehicle. A lot of times you'll see as hoods get really thick and heavy with a lot of fillers, they become custom. You open them, they don't have the right springs, the right hinges. Builders made sure the hood stays open. There's also additional spring for the ram air hood. Underneath this beautiful closeout panel is the front inner core support of the 2014 F-150. 79 Bronco inner bracing. Ever hear that word hand-built? Hand-built, fabricated into the 2014 F-150. The cowl is the 2014 F-150 modified to fit the floor pans that start behind the front seats with the 79 Bronco floor. Stay with me, there might be a quiz later. I'm way too lazy, I ain't gotta worry about that. I definitely ain't filling that out. But that just tells you, even the parts you don't see of the build, incredible amounts of fabrication under there. In case you accidentally leave your key somewhere, leave a door open, LED remote jump box, you don't have to pull for the battery. Accessible, very easy to work on. Oh, it's incredible. Pull your plated bolts, closeout panel comes right off. Plus underneath, you'll see when we get on the lift, tons of room to do whatever you need under there. Head over up in the interior next. Interior matches the rest of the truck. At the end of this, maybe there will be a quiz. I lied, it won't be a quiz, but we'll have to decide to like the paint the best, the fabrication, the upholstery, which part of this Bronco you like the best. You'll let us know when we get to the end of the video. Continuing on the exploration of the 1979 Nika Bronco, as we head inside, incredible craftsmanship. This door panel was 3 F-150 door panels that were cut apart, widened, lengthened, body worked, plastic welded to elongate to maintain the cup holders, but also to fit the 79 Bronco door. Power window switches, locks, mirrors. Even though these are Chevy Silverado mirrors on a Ford wiring system, power mirrors fold. Coming inside, incredible upholstery work. More paint work, F-150 power seats, memory functions work, Moore and Giles leather and suede. Suede has been skived when needed, which means thin so it can stretch. Incredible soft leather, very high-end leather. Actually top of the line leather, used mostly on private jet interiors. Heated seats still function. Steering wheel hand stitched, as in the old school way of legitimately hand stitched. Dash was trimmed, cut, modified, plastic welded, body worked, primed, painted, sealed, then leather wrapped, hand stitched. Have your antenna up there, speaker, all heat and AC still functional. Home link on the visors, still functional, of course. Everything is functional. Vanity mirror. All options, cruise, you name it. Entryway sill plate, since you have half 79 Bronco and half 2014 F-150, all handmade from aluminum. Carpet, bought as yardage and then cut, binding hand stitched. All leather work on these panels, all aluminum panels, TIG welded together. Floor mats, two-way, you're at the show, leather. You want to be more driver, backside carpet stitched. Pretty cool little option there. Silver paintwork, same as the Roush Supercharger. Navigation. Roll bar, fully functional, tied in the frame, proper outriggers. Knurls hand done. Headliner built up and around the roll bar. The car was put on a rotisserie, flipped into the air. Fiberglass headliner, two-piece, so the hard top can still be removed. LED vanity lights, leather insert in the headliner. Overhead console, still functional. Rear window up and down, integrated into a F350 overhead console, so it wouldn't have multiple switches. Controls your back glass. Passenger side seat track, still is power. And then a manual release was built into the seat track. The seat track was dropped 1.5 inches, cut apart, reassembled, dropped again after a test fit, welded back together. Everything still functions to allow access to the back seat. Try to set the camera here. Seats now folded forward. Entryway into back seat. Two-piece floor mats. Kicker sound system. Subwoofers built into the floor below the seat. Soundproof before carpet wrapped. Amp and subwoofer below the seat. These rear speaker boxes and armrest, aluminum hand-built panels. Leather wrapped. Roll bar still fully functional, exposed in the rear so when the hardtop is off. Front headliner masking and beautifully hiding. Rear exposed, give you a little bit of that Baja look. Honestly, one of the finest interiors I think ever constructed. You say different, you can come in and look at it and let me know your thoughts, but you're gonna be disappointed. because it's going to be the finest interior literally ever constructed. The amount of craftsmanship, this is a 6-figure interior. When you put in all the fabrication time, upside down on a rotisserie, high-end hides, skiving of hides, just an incredible amount. Carpet all handmade, binding hand stitched. Look at the needle and thread work. That's all hand done. There's no machine doing that. That is high-end upholstery at its finest. Let's head to the back and check out the rear interior. We mentioned our back glass. We come up inside our cabin. Whoop. All right, continuing on the interior. Back glass. Put the key in. Builders. Power back glass still fully functional. Let's continue on with our upholstery. As mentioned, the finest interior. Come on in, look at it, find a flaw in it. You won't. All these inserts, hand-built aluminum, body worked multiple times to get that smooth glass finish, painted. Just accent pieces. There's nothing to those except for accent pieces. That's the amount of detail work. High-end carpet, super flat. Once again, the truck was built to be driven. You can still store back there. You're towing to the lake. Throw those life jackets. Stitch work. Coming back to this roll bar, anyone not in the upholstery world, that is a hand-stitched leather cover. The amount of time it takes to do each one of these bars, just that lower bar, was about 6 hours per bar. Simple math, $100 an hour, which most upholstery shops are more than that. You are $1,200 to just cover hand stitch. That's the amount of detail work. All right, as we continue our YouTube video series here on this 1979 Bronco, completely custom, as mentioned in an earlier video, Cleveland Pound Performance, obviously out of Ohio, did a phenomenal job on this Bronco. Not only does the Bronco up top look that good, when you get underneath the Bronco, you have to look just as good. Function, just as important. The shop and the crew out there did an incredible job. This Bronco has been driven. Let's start to go through some of the suspension and other upgrades underneath the Bronco that make this a truly one-off custom Bronco. This was a SEMA 2021, as mentioned earlier. Beltec was the sponsor. Being a 79 Bronco, the big Broncos that were built, a lot of people were building these smaller Broncos, the 66 to 77 Broncos. So working with Beltec, completely custom lift kit for this Bronco. It's a 6-inch lift because underneath the Bronco, with all of this F-150 from a 2014 F-150 under here, there's no such lift kit for a half 79 Bronco, half 2014 F-150. That was the donor as mentioned earlier. So the frame, you can see forward is from the donor 2014 F-150. Frame back, which we'll get to in a sec, all hand built. Coming up underneath here, as we come over into here, we'll get to this in the outside as well. Those are 6-piston Hellcat brakes, modified spindle, because a Hellcat brake does not fit a F-150 lift spindle. But there's your independent front suspension axle shaft with your independent front suspension, which means you have a independent differential, power steering gear, and then your brakes. As we come back out under here, all of this had to be hand built because the difference between this kit that Bell Tech at the time, which totally understandable, you don't have a half 79, half F-150, this had to be modified and built. And then this here is a steel piece that also had to be built, all hand built. Aluminum panels, going to catch the theme here underneath this car, hand built with a painted rhino liner. All the bolts have been plated. Tow hooks are functional right into the frame. So when you're out beating on your Bronco, totally can tow with it as well. Obviously the paint like that you may or not be towing, but hey, your Bronco, do what you'd like. So we start to work underneath here. We got our 5-liter motor, as you saw earlier, supercharged. This was a SEMA 2021 vehicle, and with that, there's a bunch of sponsors involved. Cook's headers. Once again, Cook's does a really nice product. We did have to modify them to fit under here. Beautiful TIG welds, high flow cats, help with that smell inside the cab. And the crew at Cleveland Pound Performance, just beautiful exhaust work, all hand built. The Supercharger has a different shade of silver than the lower side of the motor, transmission, and transfer case. Transfer case cross member, all hand built and bent. Once again, no cross member fits a half F-150, half hand built, totally custom 79 Bronco. The floor pans and the cowl are from the F-150, but then the rear floor pans turn back into the 79 Bronco. When this was stripped down on a rotisserie, everything was rhino line coated and painted. Drive it. No worry about scratching anything underneath here. Drive shaft loop as well. Always about safety. As the sponsors continue to rack up, Barracks adjustable mufflers. That means when you're in the cabin, you want a wide open sound, you use your key fob, you open it up. You want to close the sound, you hit the key fob. It's a chambered muffler. This frame, completely hand built on a frame table. Exhaust is piped through the rear bracing of the frame where the drive shaft loop would come out of the rear transfer case. Rear trailing arms, once again designed, built, Johnny joints, all new, heavier duty sway bar, beautiful exhaust work, really high end. This is a car where if you went to build just the underneath of this car, you'd probably have in the asking price of the Bronco. Rear backing plates had to get made. Mounting plates had to get made. Once again, completely all custom one-off. It's a 4-piston Hellcat rear brake. And that same fresh silver as the Roush Supercharger. But it's also Bronco where all of your sensors are functional. More aluminum hand-built panels. These are closeout panels just to make underneath here look a lot prettier. Hitch. Fully functional. Custom built fuel tank. Running the factory fuel pump modified for the supercharger. Some of the framework and exhaust work. Proper fittings. Zerk fittings. Help stabilize with the anti-roll for the size. At this point, which we all want, we'll go front to back without me talking. We'll just do some beautiful enjoying of the work. That concludes this YouTube series. This beautiful 1979 Bronco, completely custom, one-off, built by the fine crew at Cleveland Pound Performance, is ready to be sold through MAXmotive. And if you want to get a build like this commissioned, it would take you 2+ years, plus double the money here. So, incredible savings. Come on down, test drive, make this Bronco yours. All right, so you've made it through this incredibly long, but insightful, awesome, and entertaining video on the 1979 Bronco, which will be coming out of the owner's personal collection, ready for sale. We've gone over all the details, but now let's get down to the fun part. Let's hear this engine run. Remember, it's a Coyote 5-liter Roush Supercharger, and our exhaust of the Varix mufflers has a mild to wild. Final look at our beautifully finished in the same matching silver through our interior Roush Supercharger, Cook's long tube headers, Coyote 5-liter. Start her on up. So right now we are in our light, mild exhaust. Nice, tame, ready for, you know, cruising around the city, not waking up the neighbors. Onto our remote. Difference adjust idle. Nice rumble. And the way this exhaust is built is, when you're on it, you're enjoying it, everyone around you is enjoying you. From mild to wild, out of the owner's personal collection, one of maybe 12 vehicles that's been, you know, honored enough to be in the personal collection the last 3 years or so. Ready for sale. If you had a shop, a top-end shop build this, you would be multiple years, 3 years, over $500,000 easily in a shop. You go through material, time, and all of that. Come on down to MAXmotive, save yourself the time and money. and own this truly one of a kind SEMA winner, magazine winner, everything you can name of winner, one-off 1979 Bronco.